Hey, the Thabreakmasta here, and it's gonna be my Nazo no Kanojo X, aka Mysterious Girlfriend X, episode 8 review. It was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. You know, I was just smiling even towards the end. It just this episode, I don't know, it's just so good. I love to see the relationship grow, and this episode shows this a lot. Like what just happened in this situation was very interesting. So let me just explain. So this episode starts off with Tsubaki having this awkward and weird dream with Urabe, and he ends up grabbing Urabe's breast, and he wakes up and still has that tingling sensation in his hand, and he had like his head about to explode or something because he was like, you know, all excited about it, and he just kept thinking about it. He couldn't help but think about it, and he's like, okay, I gotta get out of bed. I gotta stop thinking about this. And so he gets out of his bed, tries to go out to just go walk around or something. He's not really sure what to do, but he's just gonna go to like the bookstore to go look at something. And he don't know. He's just trying to get out the house. And so as he was trying to get out the house, he ends up meeting with his sister, and he's like, hey, his sister asked him, he's like, hey, you want some pork buns? And she had two big pork buns. They're not even just small pork, they're all big for some reason. I don't know why they're so huge. Like when she bit it, it's like it covered half of her face. But she was holding both of them. She's like, hey, you want these two pork buns? And then Tsubaki's like, ah, and it looked like freaking, you know, boobs for him. That's what it looked like. It looked like boobs. And he's like, no, I gotta go. And she's like, huh, that's weird. He didn't want to eat the pork buns. I guess he's growing up, because he supposedly loves pork buns. And so he was going to the store, and he just looked at some book, and he ends up seeing some, you know, girl magazine with her chest, like, you know, in a swimsuit. He's like, oh, breast. And he's like, his whole mindset was just set on that. He couldn't get out of his mind because he's really attracted to Urabe. I can't blame him though. Urabe, she's the bomb. I don't know what's up with her freaking body. She just, what the heck. And her personality is interesting. So yeah, so he went to the bridge and was like just standing there. You know the bridge that they usually go to when they walk home. Yeah, he's by that bridge, and he's like, huh. Every time Urabe, she goes that way in that direction. I wonder if she lives over there or something. So he's just like, I'm not doing anything else. So he just starts walking over there, and he's like, huh, I've never even been in this area. And it's all new to him and everything. And then all of a sudden, he bumps into Urabe. And Urabe's like, hey, what are you doing here? And Tsubaki's like, oh, I'm just walking around, you know, I'm not trying to do anything, you know. He wasn't just walking around, so he's like, I'm sorry for bumping into you. I'm just going now. See you later. And as he's about to walk off, Urabe's like, wait, you want to get some tea or something? You want to come to my apartment? And he's like, what? He's like, he got surprised. So he was in the apartment now, and he was like kind of shocked. He's like, wow, I can't believe it. But the thing is, he still had that stuff on his mind. He's like, Urabe's breast. And the thing is, the problem with him, because he couldn't get off his mind, is the fact that sweater she was wearing was like, what? Whoa. Like, seriously, like, she had this coat on, and she took it off, and then she's like, boom, and it's like, boom, pow, right in the face. And he's like, oh. He's all shocked and couldn't get off his mind. He's like, wait, I'm in her room right now. I'm in her room. So he's like, I gotta get that off my mind. Gotta get that off my mind. He's like, wow, this is an interesting room. So she ends up going to go make the tea, and he's all looking around the room. He's like, wow, look at her clothes and her stuff, and then he's like, oh, her bed. He ends up getting close to the bed, and he's all sniffing it and crying, you know. He's like, I say, he's really attracted to her. He's like, wow, really smells just like her, and he's all, you know, I guess excited about it and whatnot. And then Urabe walks in, and she's like, what you doing? And he's like, oh, the bed. It's comfortable. It's like perfect for your back. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what's going on. And she's like, yeah. And apparently, like, you could tell she didn't believe that. So yeah. So they were drinking tea and everything like that, all casually, trying to have small talk. And then she's like, Urabe's like, you got something on your mind? You seem, you know, odd. Like, you seem like something's on your mind. And he's like, oh, no, nothing's on my mind. But the whole point is, stuff's on his mind is about the squeezing the boobs. Yeah. So, he had to end up basically explaining this to her, but what happens is why he had to explain this to her, which was like the weirdest thing what he was trying to do. That was like surprising. Urabe was getting up, and it started really, like, it got really dark, all of a sudden it started raining, and then it thundered, like, it was like really loud, and that ended up like startling her, so I guess she tripped or something. I'm not really exactly sure, but she fell down, and then Tsubaki had to catch Urabe. And yeah, so after that happens, Tsubaki's hands on Urabe's stomach, and he's like, "Oh crap!" And he had it in his mind again. He's like, "I can squeeze it. I can probably get a feel on this." And so he actually tried to do it. I was like, "Hold up, buddy." Yeah, I was like, "I'm surprised you tried to do that." And so she gets up, Super Saiyan mode, get her scissors out, He's like, what the heck you think you're doing? Yeah. And then he's like, no, I'm sorry. And she's like, I knew you had something on your mind. So what is it exactly? Tell me. And so he's like, well, obviously, well, he's like, I had this dream that I touched her, you know, your breasts and stuff. And she's like, well, how did it feel? And he's like, it was very squeezable and soft, and it felt like my head was melting and stuff like that. And she's like, And so she felt herself, did a little spit thing, put it in his mouth, and he's like, so how does it feel from the real thing? He's like, it's, and he started crying. He said it felt like that spit, because he could feel what she feels. That spit made him start crying because that's how good it felt for him. But then, as he got the little spit and everything, and you know, he thought that was just gonna be it, that they're gonna get the spit and get the imaginary feel. No, she actually was like, she got on her knees and she's like, okay, you can touch him. And I was like, almost like a 360 kind of spin. I was like, what the heck is this? What's going on? Why she let her? Why would she let him do that? And so Tsubaki's like, what? You should have this on a mutual feeling. You shouldn't just do this out of the spur of the moment or anything like that. But she's like, you got the count of 3. 1, 2, and he's like, He ends up actually touching her breast, and he's like, holy crap, I did it. Oh, like he was all surprised, and I'm surprised she even let him do that. I was like, what is this? What is this? And so this is when things turned bad. This is when things turned to worse. He ends up just losing his mind all of a sudden. He just goes crazy and gets on top of her, and his hand was still on her chest. And then he's like, oh, Urabe's ear. And she's like, he starts licking her ear and everything like that. And then Urabe was trying to get her sister, but then she's like, he had him. She dropped him. Like, she kind of like gave in or something. It was weird. It's like she just gave in. She buckled her knees and everything. And it was like, whoa, what's going on with her? Like, she was trying to fight back all of a sudden. And then he was about to kiss. Tsubaki was about to kiss Urabe, but then he opened his eyes to see Urabe's face, and Urabe's actually crying. So he's like, oh my god. Oh my god. He's like, he got back up and he's like, I'm sorry. I should leave. And he ends up leaving and stuff. And so, you know, he was like feeling real bad about himself, and then you end up seeing Urabe. She's all touching her ear and everything, and apparently, I guess she might have liked it. That's what it seemed like. And so, the next day, they end up going to school because that was a Sunday. So they end up going to school, and it's weird. Urabe actually went to what's her name, Oka, and yeah, she ends up sucking spit with the Oka, and Oka gets to see that sensation, that feeling. She's like, holy crap, what happened between you two? Because she, like, her eyes, like, her glasses got foggy, and she's all super blushing, and it's like, what's going on, what happened? It was crazy, like, why you feel this way? And so she's like, well, something did happen between us. It was something big. And so she didn't tell her anything, but she's like speculating what happened exactly, because now she wants to know. And so she wanted to get some advice from her, and she's like, well, all girls have that kind of feeling when they're with their boyfriends and whatnot. So she's like, And so she ends up like being by herself, and then she starts taking her air again. Like she must have really liked it or something. That's what it seemed like. And so then as you know, they usually walk home together. So you know, Tsubaki's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry about this. He's like kind of like crushed about this. He's like I'm sorry, I forced myself on you and everything like that. And the only way he can really apologize to this, and she kept saying, I'm not mad at you. You know, you don't have to apologize and nothing like that. But then he's like, no, I have to. It's just I can't do that. I can't make, like, I'm your boyfriend. I can't make my girlfriend cry. You know, I don't want to see you crying or anything like that. So you have permission to slap me. I want you to slap me. I can't even accept your drool until you slap me. And she's like, well, my slap stings. He's like, I don't care. Just do it, please. You know, that's only I can feel better. And he's like, okay. And he's, bam. She slaps him. And so yeah, that happens. And he's like, okay. He starts feeling a little better. But she's like, I'm sorry. It's like, you don't have to feel sorry about it, because, you know, it's not necessarily a bad feeling. I actually kind of liked it. And so she's like, Tsubaki, touch my ear. And Tsubaki touches her ear, and she starts crying all of a sudden. It's like, apparently I don't know, it's like her some kind of sensation. Like she's all saying, you changed my body. That's the conversation. That's the conversation Oka and Urabe had, basically saying, you know, your boyfriend changed your body, basically. And so her ear's like a very sensitive spot. It makes her tear up. It's like, whoa. And he's like, what's going on? It's kind of weird. It's like I said, she liked it and everything like that. And then she's like, she ends up starting to spit with Tsubaki, and she ends up getting the whole scar on her face, because, you know, they swap spit. That's what happens. And then he's like, well, I want you doing that to your face. 'Cause I want you having a bruise on your face, on that beautiful face that the person I love. And so that made her all super blushy. And then she just runs away. It's like, I'll see you tomorrow. And so it's like, oh, it's cute. It was like that's like this. That's like, I love seeing relationship grow like that. It was just really nice to see. And so yeah, I'm curious what the next episode is because there's another girl in that episode preview. So I'm curious what's going on there because Tsubaki messing with her or talking to her. So I'm curious what's going on there and what's happening. So I'm curious now. I'm really loving the show. So I gotta keep reading the manga though. But yeah, leave a comment below and tell me what you think of the episode. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to my channel for some more. So yeah, it's been the Thabreakmasta, and until then, break out.